We're rolling.
We are rolling.
Can you imagine that? We're rolling. We're still saying we're rolling, like if there is a tape. But we say that.
I don't know what else we would say though.
I don't know. We digitalizing data. I don't know.
Yeah, at some point in time when AI takes over, this whole thing rolling goes away, right?
Yeah,
Just like
but
evaporates.
I don't know. I think there's still this idea of the rolling. That's gonna stick.
Yeah.
Technology goes fast.
Yeah.
But we are in person.
I know.
Again,
Thank God.
And it's good to see you.
It's great seeing you guys.
Chris,
It's great seeing you guys.
Chris,
Yeah,
Chris Pierson with BlackCloak. We've been talking about these adventures of yours for a long time, even when it was still a dream.
Yeah.
And now it's been a few years, so I'm excited, glad to see you. Last year we had a conversation here.
Yes, we did.
Black Hat.
Had a fight for the
we
sofas.
spoke at RSA conference. We speak in between. We talk, and stay up to date to what's going on with you and BlackCloak. But for those that haven't heard what BlackCloak is and don't know, shame on you if you don't know. Well, who is Chris Pierson? Who is Chris and what's BlackCloak?
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, like, I'm CEO, founder of BlackCloak. BlackCloak is digital executive protection. We're protecting corporate executives, board members, that C-suite, and their families and their personal lives, right? It's all about that extended attack surface that exists outside the four walls of the company, right? You can protect, right, the networks, the email, the computers, the servers, whatever. This is all great and absolutely some leading edge stuff that's on the conference room show floor. But how do you think, and how does your adversary think about that which is outside the four walls of the castle? The personal email of the CEO or their spouse, right? The kids' gaming machines, the camera systems that are in those homes, the home control systems, identity theft that is happening, deepfake attacks that are happening, those things that are outside the four walls of the company that could impact you, the CISO, the CSO, could impact your team, but really kind of from a financial perspective are going to impact those executives. From a reputational perspective, the executives are intertwined with the company, so it's going to come back to the company. Also, those different really kind of like ride the lightning attacks from the home environment on in, BlackCloak stands there as a product with the concierge service to protect those executives on privacy, on cybersecurity, on their home network, and on that concierge answering anything on cyber and privacy 24/7, 365. Kind of the global remit there, the global audience there is what we're really adept at. We love nothing more than working with our champions, both CISOs and CSOs, and a lot's changed in the past few months, lots changed. But that's a little bit about us. At the end of the day, it really is about how do we think about protecting the digital lives of your executives. That's what it's all about.
Yep. Now I love the concierge because it's a keyword. So every time we talk, I really stop and pause and think about that. Some people that are listening right now or watching us, they may think, I thought the company would take care of that.
Well, I mean, so yeah.
Let's explain why it's so hard to think of that to happen, actually.
I mean, there are multiple reasons. I mean, first and foremost, you can't take enterprise-grade equipment and put it inside the home of an executive and expect it to work, right? You're going to block the kids on Netflix, you're going to block Disney, you're going to cause all holy hell there and all the rest of it.
It's a problem. It's a big problem.
It's just not going to work. Second is, literally legal and privacy reasons. There has to be a shim, there has to be separation there. And we do this every single day this happens. Right? Your company, Acme Bank, has healthcare for all the employees. It picked, United Healthcare. Great. For the executive team, they might have the Mayo Clinic, they might have Air Medical Rescue, they might have Air Medical Transport, all the rest of these to follow those executives around the globe. They just lead massively different lives. And so the company selected something on behalf of the employees. In many cases, the company pays 100% for it, and the employees and their families benefit from that. And vis-a-vis, the company benefits too, but the company's not providing the healthcare. Right? They are not the ones there providing the doctor.
Right.
That's provided through the third party. And then third, really at the end of the day, you're talking about a very, very special subset and segment of the population of your company that is out there. They're on the About Us page, they're on the leadership page, they're out in the community that need special protection across all these different areas. And it isn't something that the cybersecurity warrior is actually prepared for on the inside of the company. But more so, it is about the relationship. BlackCloak and all of our cyber warriors have a relationship with every single executive and family member from day one on and through their entire subscription. And that's what we love.
You're part of their life at that point.
We are.
They're advising, maybe they have an idea, I want to redo the home theater, I want it to be connected, everything is connected, of course. The toast is talking to me, the fridge is talking to me, right?
And in their cases, right, they're yachts, right? They're private jets, right? Who's actually
Much
helping out
toys.
there? Yeah, really big toys, really big targets, and targets that actually will sometimes include multiple executives.
Right.
It could be their private residence on a Caribbean island, and they host social functions for those executives, those board members, other investors, and all the rest. So there's multiple angles and aspects to it, but it really becomes, we become part of their digital life.
Yeah, and complexity, right? Now life is complicated and complex. Technology, it helps in a lot of things, but it also makes things more complicated. You have to think wherever you are, your phone, your yacht, if you have one, anything, even the places where you go, you know that your monitor somewhere, if you go to a show or you go in a car, cars are connected. There's cameras looking at you in the car as well.
And all those things are part of the attack surface. They're part of that vector. And it requires folks that are, what our team is doing is focusing very much on this and this one threat. That threat to those people that are the highest profile individuals at your company. And so it becomes very, very specialized, both in terms of knowledge, in terms of advice, in terms of guidance, and quite honestly, we're a product company. Our engineering team is unlike any other, and we are focused on making sure we're building the next generation of products and technologies.
And there is an app too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Our app.
How does that work?
Yeah,
you start working with someone. The app is the hub of everything.
The app is both, right, it's both a dashboard, so live, real time, they're able to see the data brokers that are being removed, they're able to see the deep web, dark web stuff that's coming through, they're able to contact the concierge team. We're actually, protecting the networks that they're on, we're protecting the devices that we're on actively. In many cases, the app, on their computers is a deception network. So we actually have an entire honeypot that is there on their device. So this is really that entire holistic security and privacy protection that we're talking about. And so an app is necessary for that on cell phone, tablet, computer, and really at the end of the day, we've been able to build it, and we have 3 out of our 8 of our executive team members have certified information privacy professional certifications. I, as you and I both know, was chief privacy officer for one of the largest banks in the world. Yeah. We build privacy into everything of what we're doing, but we have to have that platform to grow and build from and jump off of. And then it's the open source intelligence on top of that. So threat intelligence on top of that. It is the advice and guidance on top of that that makes everything come together. Yeah. And that's what's wonderful. And that's where the team, real people, real interactions, back to BlackCloak, real relationships. Yeah. And that's what makes us go further and faster.
Yeah. And easy for them to use it and don't be overwhelmed. It just run in the background. They trust you, they trust the concierge, and it works. Now we're going to talk about something fun. Obviously, this event is a way for you to connect with people, to sometimes as investors, partners, and the whole ecosystem that you have. Yep. So, any good conversation happening here?
Yeah, I have to say, it's so much different than other events. It's one of the big things that I personally love about Black Hat. Everyone walking by now. It's the people, it's the relationships. Yesterday said something like I was standing for 14 hours on my Apple Watch, and I was meeting and greeting, business meetings, separate side-off meetings, and all the rest. But seeing the people, real relationships over time. I love, as a former CISO, I love meeting and re-meeting and talking to people that I knew back on that side. I love meeting with investors, new investors, prospective business partners. We have a lot of folks that are there. And quite honestly, I love hearing from the community on what are they thinking about? What is next for them? We're hearing everything's got AI into it. You and I right now, we have agentic built into us in this podcast right now, I hope, right? Yeah, but of course. It's we want that to be here. But this is the place to actually really seriously talk about noodle and diagram and draw on the back of a napkin, those ideas. And the amount of information that we're going to have coming out of this from just the talks and listening and the brain and mind share here is going to be, so impressive. Love every minute of it. The relationships are what matter, and this is a great place to go foster those and grow and develop them.
And again, it's just too complex to just do everything yourself, right? Especially if you're competing with other in the industry, you're not doing a favor to our society or to our business. It's sharing information, for example.
Well, I love that. And as you know, right, a big part of what you're doing is, right, tech in society, the impact on technology on society and all the rest. And look, we love working with good people, fighting the good fight against the bad guys, period. And it doesn't matter how you're doing it, different products, different services, all the rest. Like, that's what really binds us together. That is that overall, overarching mission. I love that more than anything else. I also do love the fact that, really, from last year, a lot has changed. We have a great chief security officer following on the executive protection, physical security, open source intelligence, air medical rescue, kidnap and ransom, right? Those folks that are responsible for that kinetic response or that protecting against kinetic threats. And we all know from, right, Brian Thompson, the United Healthcare tragic shooting in December. We all saw the Minnesota killings of Congressman just this past May, and then into last week's events over at Blackstone and the NFL and all the rest. And we're seeing that cycle continue to move forward. In some cases, there's that convergence between physical and cyber. And I'm actually really excited to see a few more chief security officers here, a few more people that have the remit of threat intelligence, a few companies and partners here that started out in that EP space and are growing. And that's what I love. I love the new challenges, the new horizons, the new growth that we're seeing, and being able to talk about it and work with others on it here. That's actually a good change this year here. A few more CSOs walking the hallways, a few more protective mission, so to speak, conversations that we're having.
Yeah, because the border, the line is in the sand. It wasn't already in the sand, and now it's been washed out. It's not there anymore, right?
But I think
life online, life in real, it's all connected.
I mean, the amount of information that's out there from an open source intelligence on data broker websites or other different search engines and all the rest, that is showing to be the impetus in kind of stage 1 and 2 for many different types of who you're going to target, how you're going to target them, how are you spreading out. The About Us leadership page, yes, it starts there and then goes. Yeah. But we're seeing the vitriol and the fervor, that negative fervor on the internet, social media, spill over into, right, that sphere of, right, real live action happening. And I think there's a place for both things. I think this line in the sand is gone. I think convergence is there. I think artificial intelligence and the ability for adversaries at a really baseline level, right? This is available to everyone.
It's really easy.
Yeah, well, it's massively easy. Something that would have taken an army, 10 people or whatever doing threat intelligence research on who the person is, where they are, about their family, about the this, about the whatever. All that can be now aggregated in. So we're seeing faster speed to threats, seeing faster speed to action, both digitally and physically, than I think we've ever seen before. And AI is playing a role in that for the attacker. I will tell you, absolutely, artificial intelligence is playing a role in that as a defender, as someone who's trying to get out in front of it. And I think there are going to be monumental gains that we can make from that.
Well, let's have fun. Let's talk in the last 5 minutes we have.
Yeah.
Hi, Sean, you gave me the 5 minutes. Let's jump into the future. Put your future thinking cap on, because I love to do this.
The winning lottery numbers.
So, well, maybe if you can see the future, foresee the way I wish you do, maybe that is a lottery number.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about, come on, so everybody can use AI. A year ago, we couldn't even have this conversation. Now AI is making movies where actually they talk.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Movie industry is kind of freaking out a little bit here. Jobs are changing. The concept of identity, the concept of privacy, to go from the AI that you use to make movies actually into stealing your identity, be you. where are we going with this? I mean, do we need to freak out a little bit? Dystopia, utopia, are we gonna prevail?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ask you again next year and have you accountable.
Yeah.
You can even think about 5 years from now, 10 years. I don't care. Like, where are we going with our society?
Yeah. Well, broader society. And it's one of those look, identity, right? You are you, is right. Migrating, is changing, is progressing at a faster clip than ever. Right. A lot of this spurred on in the early 2001, post 9/11, in terms of know your customer, taking the Bank Secrecy Act of 1980s and 90s in terms of tracking down, right, mafia and all the rest, and there, moving it into more hardline know your customer, which every financial institution, and then beyond that, right, your cable company, all utilities, all the rest, knowing who people are, now into a, right, who are you, and being proven in live real time on each and every transaction. I think this notion of identity is, right, changing, progressing, and moving very, very quickly. Artificial intelligence plays a role in that, and I think we're going to continue to see that in 1 year, in 3 years, and 5 years span, but it's going to become really a digital identity. It's the central crux of everything we do, that digital persona. I think we're going to continue to see that. As a result, I think attacks on your digital identity, attacks on you, your name, your likeness, all the rest, are going to continue. We're going to see more in the social media sphere. We're going to see more in the corporate sphere. Not just talking in terms of like deep fakes. I think that is a part that is here and will be with us into the future, but we're going to continue to see that role of identity play, just a bigger role, more so in the corporate realm as well as personal realm, and really almost like the movie where it's like Severance, where it's like kind of both the work life versus the personal life, where you have the separation. We're not seeing that, right? Remote work is here to stay. People's personas in terms of who they are is just intertwined, intermixed. I think that we're going to continue to need to see and think about that. How do we protect the environment? How do we protect our environment? Because we have to protect not only the data, the machines, the networks, all the rest, but really we have to protect each one of the individual beyond executive protection, right? Beyond digital executive. We're talking about how do you protect every single person that is there at your company and their digital persona. We've seen it in terms of the hiring of folks that are not who you thought they were, and you see these server farms built up with 20 different, just saw a picture of 20 different laptops and multiple different logins to different corporations. I mean, we are there at that point in time where that relationship, where that identity is becoming more important. I think it's going to grow in terms of complexity. I think in terms of attacks and things that we have to be thinking about, I think the convergence of physical and cyber is a topic that we really have to get on, right? Yes, we're going to be remote. Yes, we're going to have that digital presence. But at the end of the day, best business is done handshake to handshake, face to face, and growing that relationship. And I think that we're going to continue to see that grow. And we're going to really have to figure out, right, those cyber attacks moving into the physical realm moving into cyber, or taking advantage. I just saw, this interesting video from another country of, once again, tourists walking through, person putting up the RF scanner to the back area where the wallet is, and sucking in the card information and the information there. I mean, once again, this physical attack progressing with a cyber attack, progressing with the fraud and all the rest. There's convergence there, and I think that the companies that think about this in terms of how do we stitch all this together and actually focus on the threat story, not individual items, but that entire story from start to finish, are going to be the ones that win. They're the ones that succeed. They're the ones that are able to bring that vision and bring those solutions to market much better and much sooner than others. But I mean, it's that whole, picture, and it is that first mile and it's that last mile that we're going to have to dig and own.
Yeah, and I think to wrap this for what you said is that the 365, 24/7. Yeah. There's not that time where I close the door, I'm in my house, no. I'm cool, I'm safe. Now it is, you have the computer, you can't unplug it anymore. You're always on, and so that security that follows you, it's not even like, I think the perception is not even that it's security that came from outside. It's such a security that is part of our lifestyle.
I think that you're right. I think that it's one of those things where you're looking at a whole human approach.
Yeah.
Right? And we could just go to healthcare for a second. Employees who have gym membership access for $20 a month or whatever, right? And employees that have access to the latest, phone app there, you can have a televisit. Employees that have access to, remote pharmacy and all the rest, that they have mental health services, that you have access to all those things. Making sure that you have the whole employee doing well mentally, physically, all the rest of the stuff is going to net a value and benefit back into the company. And I think same thing in terms of the digital persona. I think we're going to have to really, really shift this notion of the castle metaphor just isn't going to work anymore.
Yeah.
Right? It really isn't going to work. And I don't think it's been working for a while. Right? Obviously, it's our business to be there, but it isn't. And I think that when you think about 3 years and 5 years out, there is a convergence. There's a different way of thinking about things. The digital identity is going to be penultimate. And we're going to have to really, really think carefully about how do we actually stitch that story of protection, awareness, and reaction and response all together from point one all the way to that end result and then repeating it. I don't know, I'd say this. It is a massively fascinating area to be in terms of tip of the spear, cyber and privacy right now.
Into that, and looking into the future. Yeah.
And what's cool about it is this, is I was just at a think tank a few weeks ago, and everyone's, it seems like the preconceived notions were on we're locking ourselves into what we think what AI is doing right now, and therefore what we think it can do in the future. And right now, that future of 18 months from now, 24 months from now, I don't know that any of us can actually predict what it's going to be, because it is so rapidly changing each and every day. It is unbelievable. I think that's what's exciting and what's cool about this industry. I think it's what's exciting about what we can use from a defensive posture, in some cases, right, US government on the offensive side, but I mean, we know cyber criminals and nation states are also there thinking some of the same things too. I just see infinite upside and opportunity in terms of how do we tackle this and how do we tackle it together, here as a part of community.
I love it. Great conversation, Chris. If everybody got inspired to learn a little bit more about what Chris has been doing, is doing, and will be doing, you can check out BlackCloak.io. You can come on ITSP Magazine. It's been a sponsor of us, and we're many stories that we have shared. And this one comes to you from Black Hat 2025 here in Las Vegas. Chris, was great seeing you.
Absolutely. Always.
To the next one. And everybody stay tuned. Follow us on ITSP Magazine, LinkedIn, website, everywhere. And there'll be many more conversations from our coverage. So take care.